Hey guys, excuse the frizzy hair. It's a really rainy, muggy day today. I just wanted to let you know that at the time of editing this video, Blizzard actually came out with some new information regarding the state of Warcraft 3 Reforged and how they're going to proceed moving forward. So some of the information at the beginning of this video may not seem necessarily current or relevant anymore. I will be addressing that at the end of the video, so stick with it, is kind of what I'm trying to say, and don't worry, I'll be talking about everything that they've just come out with. So thanks for watching and enjoy. Hey everybody, it's Parker from Squad Chat. Originally this video was going to be me talking to you about why you should be excited for Warcraft 3 Reforged, but I can't do that. This has been the most disappointing video game launch probably of my lifetime. I was a big fan of Warcraft 3 growing up. Made me love the real-time strategy genre. It made me fall in love with the world of Warcraft, not just World of Warcraft, but the entire world, the lore of everything. And if you know anything about me, if you've been following the channel for a little bit, you know that I love real-time strategy games. It's my favorite genre. When I saw that this game was getting a re-release with like all new graphics, all new everything, better multiplayer interfaces, I was so excited because I thought, sweet, the granddaddy of all real-time strategy games and the company that really pushed for that genre is coming back into the scene. But they really screwed it up, and in major ways too. So this video is going to be kind of a rant, but also I'm going to be explaining to you why and how they screwed up so badly. So I know there's a lot of other creators that are bigger than me that are talking about this issue, and you've probably already seen those videos, but I think that everybody deserves to have a voice on this platform, and I think that if I'm upset, I should be able to talk about it, you know? That's what the channel's for. We're supposed to be honest with you guys. So yeah, that's just what I'm gonna do. So sit back, relax, and here are the reasons why. Here's why I think Warcraft 3 Reforged is horrible. Just horrible. Here we go. Okay, so as I said before, this was one of my most anticipated releases of this year. But it quickly did like a 180-degree complete turnaround and then decided to drive off a cliff face first and into a fiery explosion. With the release of Warcraft 3 Reforged, Blizzard promised us updated graphics, easy ways to play online multiplayer matches, and a wealth of mod support for the creative types in the community. If you remember, Warcraft 3 is how the MOBA genre got started, right? Dota started as a Warcraft 3 player mod. It was like a completely new version of the game created by users in the community as a different way to play Warcraft 3, and then it turned into something totally huge, and it's why we have basically esports in general now, especially at the scale that we do have them. Like, League is played at such a high level to such high volumes of crowds. They sell out sports stadiums to play that game, and it all started because of, the genre started because of Warcraft 3, right? So when we heard better modding tools for the community, that was a huge deal. So let me break it down one point at a time. So let's talk about the graphics first. It's a pretty okay looking game. StarCraft 2, Blizzard's last RTS release, right, looked incredible at ultra graphics, and it still holds up as far as I'm concerned. Warcraft 3 seems to be a mix of the original art style with World of Warcraft mixed with some other kind of art style, and I like the way it looks okay, right? It doesn't seem like a humongous step forward. If you look at the original StarCraft and you look at where StarCraft 2 was many years later, there's a massive jump. They retained the spirit of the game, but, you know, changed some things and brought it into a modern era with their graphics. Warcraft 3 doesn't really do that. There's no punch to it. It's kind of a bland looking game. It's easy to get very tired of the combinations of colors they used. It just looks very dull. So this is Warcraft 3 on its original release, right? You see, like, it's very old school, very, 90s kind of game, right? And then still a step above StarCraft 1, right? This is base Warcraft 3. And then you have Reforged. And to me, there's not a massive difference. The game was promised to have a new, UI overhaul and make it very much accessible. And they left it with the old UI. Like, they had this really cool concept, and this seems like a small thing, but it's not. It's a promise that they made. It's something they showed off, and they were like, we're working on this. And then it turned into something that was basically the same thing they had released many, many years ago. So I think that graphically, while it does look better in some ways, it's still kind of a disappointment. And that, I don't know, that to me is just kind of a major letdown. Because I was expecting something along the StarCraft 2 lines, right? I was expecting something that would just look and play amazingly well. And that really bummed me out. And maybe I'm not the only one. Maybe some people really like it. I know there are people that'll like it no matter what, but I can't help but look at it very critically and be disappointed. So let's talk about the mod tools for a second. More specifically, the terms of use agreement for the game in regards to the modding community. As I talked about before, Warcraft 3 made huge waves in the gaming community when the community created game mode of the MOBA took off and turned into something huge in the gaming and esports world. Blizzard may feel a little salty about that, and in the terms of use this time around, in the terms of use agreement, they've said basically make whatever you want in the game, but any new modes or changes you make belong to us. This definitely hasn't sat right with the player base, and it doesn't sit right with me, honestly. Imagine if you went into an art supply store, bought some paints, and then on the back of the paints, there's a little piece of writing that says, "Hey, thanks for trying to create something new with our product, but anything you paint with this belongs to our company, and we can monetize it without your permission." This agreement in regards to Warcraft 3 Reforged includes things like textures a modder might create for, a new character skin, even 3D models that they make to try to change up the look of the game for their mod, for the purposes of what they're trying to create. That would belong to Blizzard, if they even put it into the Warcraft 3 engine. As somebody working in and studying in the 3D animation space, I can't explain in enough detail how predatory and just wrong this feels. Yeah, you're basically using their engine, but I don't see a universe in which the modding community says, you know what, this is great. What a great rule. Sure, many mod creators for games work for the love of the games as a whole, often for free. Old Star Wars games probably wouldn't even still be relevant to their respective communities today if modders hadn't tried to update them and make them feel fresh for everybody. But the terms of use agreement in Warcraft 3 Reforged, I don't know, it's a different beast. This feels like Activision Blizzard feeling burned by what happened last time, and as if they want to capitalize on the past, all at the cost of the player and the creative types that play the game. I don't know, maybe I'll get told off in the comments about how wrong I am, and people will poke holes in this, but something about this really hits in a terrible spot, and it just grinds my gears. I don't know, man. Basically, at the end of all things, what was promised was a complete remaster and reworking of a beloved game, and what this release was, in essence, is an asset flip of the original game. In no way does this game try to reinvent or reimagine the formula of the old game. It plays the same exact way, and from what I can tell, was released with more bugs and more frame rate issues than the original. And sure, the original had bugs, like there were game crashing bugs and things like that, but people pushed through it because the game was so new and innovative and just something different for the time, and now this is an old game that they're re-releasing. We expect more from a company releasing things now than we did in the past because we have updated engines and everything. They have larger teams working on this stuff, so that was very surprising to learn about this game. Does this game still do things right? Sure, but that's not, in my opinion, the result of the hard work of the new team that was working on this game. The things they got right with this game, like the story and the mission structure and the general way the game plays, that was already in the old game. This game is just an attempt to capitalize on what the community has been asking for years, and I'm part of that community. I've been saying in forums and stuff on Blizzard's StarCraft websites and everything, man, it'd be great to have Warcraft 3 look like this and play like this with large armies and all this stuff, bring it into a new generation, introduce it to new people, but with mechanics they're now familiar with. But frankly, this game is just insulting. It's a re-release of an old game with a new coat of paint, and that's the worst way to do a remaster, I think. It's this giant corporation at this point. Blizzard used to be all about, the player and how to make games fun. But recently it just seems like they're trying to reskin stuff and, push it out, and they're just kind of shoveling things at us, hoping that that something will catch, hoping that we'll latch on to something and really love it. But this game doesn't have the love and the respect, frankly, that their older games had. Terms of use agreements and these predatory refund policies or lack thereof really taking hold and tarnishing the reputation of the game. Sure, the game does things right, but wow, just wow. It does so many things wrong. I'm extremely disappointed. With RTS releases like the Age of Empires 2 Definitive Edition that reworked the AI of the game, had amazing visual enhancements, crazy cool character models, and new animations that actually added things to such an old game, my hopes were really high for this one. Okay, so as I said at the beginning of the video, Blizzard has, since the launch of the game, come out with a couple of responses to the community backlash. Warcraft 3 Reforged has one of the, if not the, lowest Metacritic score ever for a PC game, sitting at 0.5. People really dumped on this game. And then they come at us with this statement that says, "Hail War 3 players, we've been following the discussions the past couple days and want to thank you for your feedback, as well as your support. First off, we want to say we're sorry to those of you who didn't have the experience you wanted, and we'd like to share our plans for what's coming next." There's more to follow. It's a relatively short post considering how low that Metacritic score is and how vocal the community has been about their disappointment with the game. My favorite part of this is how they say, "We want to say we're sorry to those of you who didn't have the experience you wanted." Almost putting the blame back on the players. Come on, Blizzard, you're the one that, that advertised the cutscenes that weren't in the game, that gave us this subpar game, and now you're throwing that back on us? Get out of here with that. And then J. Allen Brack, the company's CEO, made a statement just a couple days ago from the time of recording this segment saying, "Been a hard week. Our community has come to expect really amazing things from us, and we've heard from them that we did not achieve that bar." Oh, really, Jay? Really? You think so? "But we stand behind our games and have consistently shown that not only do we support them, but we continue to build on them, even after launch, and we're committed to doing that here as well. So we're going to continue to update the game, and we'll continue to update the community with our plans going forward." Wow, that's great. Thank you so much for that. One thing that really bothers me about Blizzard's apologies after every single game they've released the last, year and a half, 2 years, ever since the Blitzchung debacle, the Diablo Immortal debacle, it feels like there's some sort of reason Blizzard is in the news lately, and it's never any good. It's never a good thing. All of this seems very boilerplate, very vanilla. None of it seems like a real apology. So think about it what you will. I just wanted to include it because I want to show both sides of it. But to me, these apologies seem disingenuous, and it just doesn't feel like they care about this game or this game release at all anymore. They're kind of putting the blame back on the players, and I don't think that's really right or fair for Blizzard to do. But anyway, those are my thoughts on Warcraft 3 Reforged. I want to hear what you guys have to say in the comments. Did you buy this game? Were you able to get a refund? Are you actually happy with the game? Did I totally miss something? I gotta know what you all think. If you like this video and you aren't subscribed yet, now is an awesome time to do so. It helps us out a bunch and keeps you up to date about what's going on in Squad Chat. We release new videos every week, so if you like what you see, smash that button, ring the bell. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Squad Chat, out.